Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Coffee Time. This is Stephen Rowlands for another morning of spiritual chat and Q&A. I'm just waiting to welcome the lovely Stephanie Darlington, and I've started a wee bit early, just so that I can iron out any technical difficulties. There usually are with Facebook, and we will see. Right. Hello, Patrick. Could have done with you. Right. Okay. There was another slight technical hitch there. I've got a slow connection and all that, but anyway, but I'll second. Right. Oh, here she is. Hello, Steph.
Hi.
I
Oh,
can I can hear you, but I can't see you. I don't know what's going on.
my screen just froze. You're frozen on my screen.
I'll get you. Wonders Facebook Live. What can I say?
Let's see. Um,
Okay. Anyway, I'm going to try and get this up on something. Am I still frozen?
yeah, on mine, yeah. Have I not come on at all? Oh.
No, I'm not frozen on mine. Okay.
Can you see me there? Yeah, or is it?
I can't see you.
Oh.
It's just a blank screen. I've got your voice.
Do you want me to come off and try again? Hang on,
Yeah, can do.
Right, I'll cut it off altogether and start again.
Oh, right, okay. The lovely Stephanie should be joining us in a minute. Good morning, Laurie. Good morning, Patrick. Good morning, John Brannigan. Okay, there she is. Good morning, Francis. Right. Oh, it's still a black screen, Steph. I don't believe it.
Actually, yours is black as well, but I bet everyone else could see us both because I've had this before.
Yeah, let's just go with what we got because we're going to just
Yeah,
spend all day messing about, aren't we?
yeah,
Anyway,
yeah.
good morning, Steph.
Good
All
morning.
right, and Stephanie Darlington. Right, but I'll call you Steph, don't I?
Yeah.
But good morning, Stephanie Darlington. Welcome to Coffee Time, and thank
Mhm.
you for joining me.
Good
For
morning.
those that don't know you, can you just tell us a little bit about yourself, please?
Oh, well, hi, I'm Stephanie Darlington, and I've been a medium for about approximately 10 years, and I've met Stephen online and in person now, um, and I don't want to go on because you talk forever, so he always takes mick out of me for talking too much, don't you? uh, I'm lost
Yeah,
for
well, I
words,
listen, don't I?
Stephen.
But anyway, yeah, carry on. You've been a medium for 10 years.
Yeah, over the last few years, I've started working church platform. I do most of my work online though, um, and I work with a mixture of modalities like chords, um, and I do a bit of holistic healing. I do Reiki, and what else?
Yeah. Right.
I do all sorts of different things now. I'm interested in everything spiritual, so I'll leave it at that, Stephen. I'm here all day if I actually really
No,
want to.
that's great. No, that's great. I like the word modalities.
Yeah,
That's the first time I've ever known it called as modalities. But we live in a modern world, don't we? Yeah,
yeah.
don't take no notice of me because I'm just an old soldier, if you know what I mean. But modality is a good way of describing it. Okay, I can see comments now. Guess what? I can see comments. All right.
Yeah,
Good
yeah,
morning,
definitely. Ooh.
B Gifting Alexander. Welcome to Coffee Time with me and Steph Darlington. Anyway, um, well, there's a two or three things I want to talk about, or I want to listen to you about.
Mhm.
I just Well, one thing that struck me this week, and I've actually deleted a couple of people because of this. All right, but they're on Facebook telling everybody how they're better than everybody else,
Yeah.
and their way of teaching is better than anybody else. Okay, and then that goes on for about a month, and then the development circles and all the rest of it, and the price list comes on,
Yeah, I've
and
noticed.
that to me is wrong.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Because as there's no right or wrong in life, there's no right or wrong in spiritual development, isn't there? Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I do agree with that, definitely. Yeah.
Because I think you should go to where you're, whatever you're drawn to. You know what I mean? Like you talk of modalities, whether it's Reiki or cards or whatever. You
Yeah.
know, platform, you know, mediumship in general, because mediumship covers a big umbrella, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Steph,
Yeah.
you
It
know, because
does.
I'm often telling people that once you can understand and interpret vibration, basically you cracked it. So you can read anything.
Yes.
You know what I mean? I've got you on here for you to talk, not me, but never mind.
No, you've actually picked
Did
up
I
on what
tell?
I was wanting to talk about. So, well,
Yeah,
some
well,
of it.
go on. Well, what's your thoughts on that one subject that I've just mentioned?
Well, what you're, yeah, I've seen a lot lately, and I've seen people say that they don't like the ego and all this, and then I'm reading it thinking, actually, this is your ego. And then, like you said, later they're coming out with these courses, it's money and what have you. I have noticed a lot of that recently. I read it, some of it I think, oh yeah, I agree with that, and then I get to the end, and then they say something else. I think, no, I don't agree with that. That's just your ego, straight away. That's just what pops in my head. I do believe that we all work in our own individual ways, and I think we're guided more by spirit. And like when people are doing courses, I feel it's okay to get the basics, but once you've got those basics, you're on your own journey. You'll learn, spirit will guide you the way they need to know, as long as you know how to trust, and you get your grounding and your protection. And there's just certain things that I think we need to like master before we can continue with it. And what I was thinking about this morning, I thought, oh, if you ask me what I want to talk about, I wanted to talk about, and I don't know what your views are on this, but it relates to what you're saying about, well, you were saying about modalities. Um, a lot of us, you get your psychic, you get medium, and I call myself a psychic medium because I know that some of the things I come out with, because I get a lot of predictions, and I don't personally, I try not to do that in church, but I know spirit are clever, and the way they give it me, they'll not tell me it's a prediction purposely because they know that I'm in church and I'm not supposed to do it. But if I'm doing personal readings, I will do, and I'll explain that we have free will and everything. But what I wanted to talk
Mm.
about is using tools with the mediumship. How you feel about that? I don't know if you use tools.
I just feel it's just as valid
Yeah,
as mental mediumship. So I just put it in easy slot mental mediumship.
yeah,
Because I'm booked to do sand readings at Harrow next year.
mm.
And there was another, I did a demonstration of sand reading at Southampton Spiritualist Church.
Oh,
Um, I think if your thing is cards, I'll tell you what, years and years and years ago,
yeah,
um, the development circle that I sat in, the one that I call the one that I really learned in, we done a demonstration of general development of Manor Park Christian Spiritualist Church, which is
yeah,
now South Spiritualist Church. And I was doing sand reading. Um, I think Pauline was doing playing cards.
yeah,
Um, Ron was doing tarot, and I forget what Ian was doing. And my teacher was doing trance, just a little bit of trance. All right. So
yeah,
it was sort of like this. We were using tools. You know what I mean?
yeah,
And it went down well and everything like that. I got a rollicking at the end of the night because I couldn't see nothing in the tank because there's a direct light on it and I couldn't see nothing. So I chose to work mentally, and my teacher um, spotted what I was doing straight away and gave me a big rollicking afterwards. But there you go. I learned from that, right? But anyway, yeah, I can't see if you want to get up there, you know, and I think the churches can accommodate this
mm.
because I think, I don't know whether you agree with this, spirit know the need better than we do.
Yeah, like you say, with
And
drones and things.
yeah, and if that need is met by tarot, sand, ribbons, whatever, like I said, you can give a message of anything. Once you can interpret vibration, you can give a message of anything.
Yeah,
Okay. Um, and that's including spirit, because spirit's speaking emotion, as you're aware of, which is a vibration. Thought is a vibration.
yeah,
What was I going to say? I'll tell you what I do is that to back that up, I've said to people, you could give somebody a message off a stock if you like, off their socks. And one night I woke in Spiritus Church, I was talking about that in an address, and this bright spark from the congregation said, "All right, then do it." So I said, "All right, mate, take your sock off." All right. Anyway,
yeah,
he took his sock off, and yeah, not only a psychic message, but a link in with loved ones
yeah,
came through. And I went, there you go. He shut his mouth and dropped the gun. Right.
yeah,
Um, and I, a couple of times a year, I'm invited to Letchworth to do a teaching circle. They have various mediums to teach up there over the year. This is my one night. And at the end of it, I was saying about giving a message off a sock, and I demonstrated it
yeah,
and brought this guy's mother through. All right.
yeah.
But I don't understand um, this division or this separation between psychic and mediumship, because spirit uses psychic energy to get the messages across.
Yeah. You're on my
So
page. Yeah,
yeah. So I don't think we should be separating that psychic energies at all, or
mm,
spirit, loved ones, guides, angels, whatever, to bring forward that message. We're using psychic message when we're doing psychometry,
yeah.
stand, ribbons, cards, and spirit link into that. And you could bring loved ones through for all them tools. Would you agree, young lady?
Definitely. Like you said, the socks, I just kept thinking that's just psychometry, just picking up a piece of somebody's thing and it's reading their energy of that belongs to that person.
Yeah.
Same thing, yeah. Yeah.
I'll never forget what Berenice said once. I'll never forget this. And it's good, really, because she said it in 1979. But the good thing that what she said was, if you pick up a ring, you should be able to sense where the gold was mined,
Yeah, if you're a really good
where
medium,
they
yeah,
dug
that's
it out of
good.
the ground. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, if you want to go deep into it, you can go for all that. Not only it was your mother's ring, blah 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 blah. Or it's your ring, and this says this to me about you, and you can link through spirit.
Yeah,
I don't know why. I think we should open our minds more. Would you agree?
definitely. Yeah, I've got a very open mind. I'll try anything. It's like when I work with cards, I work with mainly oracle cards. I've got a basic meaning for the tarot, but that's all I need because spirit guide me to which cards to choose. And once I've picked that card, I tune in to spirit anyway, and spirit will give me a message based on that card. And I think it's amazing. Often, spirit will draw me to a card to clarify what I've just said from spirit. I find it amazing how spirit work. It's all intelligence and
Oh
trust.
yeah,
Yeah, a lot of it's
the
trust.
intelligence of spirit is off the scale, but more
Mm,
than we can imagine, and
yeah.
um, and the way they use it. Right, young Hazel Moyler will despair me now. She's a fully fledged tarot teacher and
Mm,
very
yeah.
well read. And I've had her on with me a couple of times, but she despairs with me because she was one of my students. And basically, a couple of times I've done a live where I've just read a tarot card for people,
Mm,
and again, going along with the thing, once you can read vibration, you basically cracked it. And, you know, you know what it's like on a live, anything for me, pick me a card, pick me a card, pick me a card, and you just pick somebody, and I'll just grab a card off the top. And
mm.
it's always related to that person. And there's always been a link to that loved one. And that again is the intelligence of spirit, isn't it? 'Cause it's just
Yeah,
done randomly. I'll say, all right, I'll pick on you for
and a lot of it's
give you a
intention.
card, just pick a couple of back, and bam,
Yeah,
it's all coming through. You know what I mean?
yeah, I
That's
do.
something we've never discussed, has it? Let's be the first step. The
Yeah,
intelligence of
yeah,
spirit.
Yeah, definitely. But also, I think it's intention as well, because there was one day I did a live and I couldn't see the comments, and I thought, right, I had a list of the names. I literally chose a name and I gave each one a reading with, I think I did it with cards. And then I got the right information. I've not seen the pictures, I just had a name, didn't know who they were. The spirit know who they are, spirit are intelligent, and they give us that information. So you can
Yeah,
do blind
I think
readings.
once you. Sorry, I'm interrupting, Steph.
No,
I've
it's
got a
fine.
terrible habit of doing that. Please forgive me.
It's all right.
But what I think, your intention, your intention is to uplift, obviously, and give some advice and
Yeah,
whatever. But once you
and
shout
healing.
that name out,
Yeah,
right, Fred Blogs, I'm coming to you. I'm going to give you a card. All right, you created a link.
yeah,
To me, you
that's it.
created a link, and spirit, bam, tune into it and a bang on it.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know, see, this comes in with the collective mind of spirit, as it doesn't it?
yeah, it does.
All right.
Mm.
And the universe, I want to say the collective mind, I don't want to sound it like the Borg. For any Star Trek fans, they're not the Borg. All right. But the universal mind of spirit.
Yeah,
Okay. Whereas a lot of people think spirits are just floating around in the ether, don't they? They're
yeah,
not. Right. And so you're there, little Steph Darlington's in her house, and she can't see the people, but she get she just picks out a name. You're creating the link with the universal mind, aren't you?
yeah, yeah. And you know
But that
everything, spirit and
universal mind,
everything.
right, okay, Fred Blogs is
Mm.
getting a message, or Steph's just going to read for Fred Blogs. Bam, Fred Blogs is there. All the guides are there. All the energies are there for you to interpret that card.
Yeah,
Would you go along with that? Or
yeah,
am I just
definitely.
rambling?
No, I agree with that. Universal energy, we are all spirit, we're all connected, and spirit know
Exactly.
everything. And our higher mind, we are spirit in a body, so our spirit knows everything as well. So it's
Well,
just
yeah, it's connected to that universal mind. I remember years ago, because I know I keep going on about this, but yeah, it was General Development Trance Circle, and yeah, guys used to talk about the universal mind quite a lot.
yeah,
You know, and I'm trying desperately now we're talking about it to remember. But hello Sandra, hello Karen, morning Jackie. Um, and I think you hit it on the head there. Everything's connected. So we're not everything's connected on this earth, but everything's connected in spirit as well.
yeah,
And that's connected to us. You know, we're connected to them, and so on. And that could be one simple way of saying how universal mind works, isn't it?
yeah, yeah. And
And I
then
think I'm thinking out loud here now, Steph, but I think you've hit the nail on the head with intention. So once you send that thought out, bam, the connection's there.
yes, it's
You know,
immediate.
you're connecting with what you need to connect to.
Yeah.
You know, and
I think
yeah,
when you get used to it, when you've been doing it long enough, it is seconds. You can just take that link is just there because you're just ready to do it. The intention's there. Whereas when people are still
I agree.
learning, they don't realise they've linked in already because it is that immediate, and people don't realise it, do they? And when they're still learning it early days, they're going, "Oh, I've not got my link yet. I'm waiting. I'm waiting." And it is there, but they can't sense it. If you get what I mean, I feel like I think that people get the link straight away, but they don't. They're not aware of it yet.
Yeah, I just think I'm a great one for talking about. This is something we used to do years ago in the olden days, all right? But you've got to be a clear vessel for spirit so that you can pick up what they're saying. I
Yeah,
think too many people block spirit or block the connection by worrying about falling flat on their face or their ego or whatever, or
yeah,
worrying
what?
if it's their imagination or not or whatever. You've got to be clear of your, you've
Yeah.
got to remove yourself to one side.
Yes,
And that's how I was taught donkeys years ago. You know what I mean, Steph? And
I do. And do you know what's
oh,
strange about that? Sorry, carry
what's
on.
that then?
When I realised one day that I was just doing it automatically, and what I noticed I was doing, it was on practice circles. I just realised one day that as soon as I would set that intention to give a message, I just kind of took a deep breath and I just got into this vibrational state, and then it was just bam, the message just come straight out. And it was like my mind, my body had just learned to just block my mind out, and anything that come in, I gave it, and it was all message. And what I do now, I shut down all the time. I'll get a few bits from Spirit that I need, or if somebody really needs a message, it'll come to me. But I literally
Yeah.
just open up just before I give reading so that I know that everything I'm getting is just from Spirit and not from my head. Because my messages clairaudiently come through like my thoughts. So it is very
Lucky
easy
team.
to get it mixed up if I'm. But then I've got a lot more than knowing now, so I do know that it's Spirit and not me. So my clairs are up and down. I'll be better at one for a bit, and then that'll die down a bit, and then I'm better at another one. It changes, and they're always changing the way they work with me. But I find that as advancement, evolving all the time. So I enjoy it. And just going back, if you don't mind me saying, do you know about the cards and things?
Yeah.
Over time, when I did Reiki, we used a pendulum to check the chakras. And what I found after a short while, the pendulum stopped working for me. But then I knew which chakras were in and which ones weren't. So what they did, Spirit, took that tool away from me to get me to work more mediumistically. And then the same with cards.
Exactly.
With cards, they took that away for 2 years. I couldn't get anything from cards. It took me about 2 years. And then all of a sudden I've got it back again, which is great. But they take something away while they're teaching you something else, spending more time with it. And then when they think you've mastered that, then they'll bring something else back in. That's how I feel anyway. How do you feel about that?
I agree 100% because you cannot leave a circle. I disagree slightly, very, very
Mm,
slightly, just a teensy bit.
yeah.
I think once you learn the basics, once you've got your link, then you learn how to do it properly, and you've got to have knowledge. You've got to have teaching.
Yeah.
Okay. Rather than just being like a channel, you've got to build up knowledge of how things work. That's just my opinion, Steph. Um,
Mm,
but if you don't know how it's working, you can't really advise people. You know what I mean?
mm,
Um, we can say, "Oh, don't go out with that fella again," or "This is how you feel," or whatever. But yeah, I agree with that. Once you leave circle, it doesn't mean that you've learned all that you need to learn. The,
mm,
the, the, the learning carries on. And a lot of people sort of like get worried and frightened when they get a change of guide or something like that, or spirits working with them differently. And I'm the same as you. I embrace it because I know I'm learning something new.
yeah.
I'm working a different way. Would you agree, Steph, that in mediumship you have to use your whole self?
Yes, because you're using all the clairs are all like you seeing, hearing, feeling, knowing, taste, smell. It's all there. And I think I could be wrong with this. I mean, I'm not blind, I'm not deaf, but I presume that spirit will still use those with you. You'd still get the thoughts in your head if you were deaf. You'd still be told, I feel like, yeah, they'd use everything of you. Is that what you mean as well? Spirit will make use
Yeah,
of
because
everything.
I just don't. I use my whole self because, like you say, we've all got chakras, we've all got senses.
Yeah.
Yeah, and each chakra, not that I know a hell of a lot about the chakras because I know nothing about them at all. I don't even use the chakras to open, which horrifies some people.
Does
Okay,
it?
but yeah, yeah, oh, you don't use your shot. No, I just pull the light down. Anyway, yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, what was I saying, Steve? And I've forgotten now. I'm not good. I'm 65, you know. What I want to say is that with me using the whole self, it just doesn't come through the mind. I'll get a feeling like knowing through the solar plexus. Yeah,
Yeah.
that word or that emotion will come through my solar plexus,
Yeah.
or they will speak out loud in my mind, or I'll get a feeling in my right arm or whatever. I never
Confidence.
forget. I I never forget. I was giving a reading one night. Funnily enough, that was at Slough, and I'm giving this girl a reading, and I'm describing this lady to her, and all of a sudden, the word cherry, the name cherry, it was a name, vibrated through my whole body. It's like my whole body shook, just very slightly,
Yeah.
but the word cherry came through me. And I said, and her name was Cherry. And she went, yes. All right. So
Yeah.
that's to me that's the easiest way I can describe about using your whole self. you know, because spirit, there's different levels of spirit, aren't there?
Yeah.
Right. And what I try to make people understand is, Steph, is that you get those that are not used to communicating through a medium, so they're trying every avenue they can to get you to notice them in whatever way and to communicate whatever they want to communicate. So you have to use your whole self
Yes.
to be receptive to those that are struggling to get through. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? I always ask my guides to help them anyway.
Yeah.
You know, would you agree with that, Steph? Because I was doing a service at Wokingham last week or the week before, and the actual guy, this bloke's father, said, "This is the first time I've done this. Bear with me." He actually said that to me,
Yeah.
and I
Oh,
said to her, "This is the first time he's been through." Because
yeah.
the link was very weak and very, very slow, but I knew I had to give a message. So I said to her, "Is this the first time he's been through?" She said yes. And we just took the time to give him the message, give her the message, and then
Yeah.
he then went to her daughter, which was his granddaughter, and gave her a message. You know what I mean? So we've got to be prepared to work on all levels. That's
Yes.
what I'm trying to say, Steph. Not
Yes.
just focus on one way of working, because I think that's sort of like very narrow-minded and blinkered.
Definitely, because yes, I find that sometimes I'll be given a message and they just show me loads of visions, and I've just got to say, they're showing me this, showing me that. I'll just see loads of different things. Whereas other people, I get more. See, my audience isn't that strong, so I hear odd words or dates or names or a song title, the odd thing. But occasionally, I'll get somebody comes through and gives me a lot more of the coloured audience side of it, compared to anything else. And then sometimes I'll have a message where most of it's just I just know things, and it just comes through it, flowing out my mouth. Those are my favourite messages. That it just I don't think about it; it just comes straight out my mouth. But often it's like a build up towards the end that I'd get the knowing anyway. But some messages are all around one Claire. A lot of them are very varied, but that's I think my development. But yeah, they do. I do feel sometimes that they're still learning, because I believe that as well, that they're learning like we're learning. Although I don't know, I've
I
got mixed
agree.
beliefs. I've got mixed beliefs on that, because I feel like we've all been spirit anyway, and we're going back to spirit, and we should know. So it's I don't know if that's completely true. It could be that they're showing you that way so that you will know that it's their first message to tell that person. So I'm a bit mixed feelings on that. If spirit are all knowing, aren't they? So you think they know how to come through. But I feel like sometimes they come through that certain way to make it obvious. Like some people come through, got all the swearing all the time. And now I've never had a spirit swear to me,
Oh,
never.
yeah,
And I feel like, I
yeah.
think, why? Is it because I don't hear much? Or is it because when they come through swearing, I feel like they only do that to tell that person that they swore a lot. I don't think they do it just to say
Yeah,
I
that's
still
the
swear all the
evidence.
time.
I mean,
Yeah.
if I had £1 for every time I've had to say I'm giving you the clean version of what they said,
Yeah, I've heard loads of videos
you
say
know,
that.
if it's edited, all right, and I've used the word flipping instead of the other one.
Mm,
Um, what can I say? When they're coming to Earth, all right, because we're always demanding evidence all the time, aren't we?
yeah,
All right, so that to prove that it's them, they're having to be like they are on Earth, aren't they?
yeah, yeah, yeah. They've
You
got
know,
to show that
whether
they're
they
alive.
score a lot or whatever, whatever they like to do, they like to do, but jump around on a pogo stick on a Sunday morning. It's all,
Mm,
you know, but
yeah,
um,
and they also
but
work from
also
our
they're
memories, don't they?
pardon, sorry.
I feel like they work through our memories as well. They'll often show me things from my memory to trigger me to say that. And because I'm not really
Oh yeah,
around people that
yeah,
swear all the time, maybe that's another reason why I don't even want swearing.
yeah. I mean, recently, over the past few weeks, you know, a loved one will come in and they look like my dad or they look like my granddad or they look like a film star and say, just to get it over to the person, this person looks like Gregory Beck or Rock Hudson. It's always the
Yeah,
old ones, all the old film stars, you know what I mean?
yeah,
I haven't had a Brad Pitt looking like yet, you know what I mean, or a Tom Hardy, but I'm waiting for that one to happen. But yeah, spirit will do. Let's put it this way: spirit will always communicate in a way that we understand, but they will always find the best way to communicate with us. It also depends on the level of vibrational frequency of the medium and their understanding.
Yes, I think that's a big thing about the vibration. I find that giving readings out in an audience, I found that, I don't know if you find this as well, but resonate more with certain people because I'm on their vibration, and they're the ones that I find the readings a
Yeah,
lot better
exactly.
for. And those that aren't on my vibration, they can't take the message, they don't understand it, but then later they'll find out that it was right. But there and then they'll be like, nope, nope, nope. That's frustrating.
Yeah. What I find as well, Steph, is, and this has happened to me 2 or 3 times, and I've nearly blown a gasket from the platform, which you really can't do. But like I said, nearly. All right. But it's been obvious to me, or even the last service I did, this person, or even up at Darwin when I met you, one of the messages there, I
Yeah,
think it was the last message. She wanted somebody particular to come through. So no,
yeah, you get that.
right? Until
Yeah,
until the right one came through, because I was giving it 2 or 3 people, and until the right one came through, then it was a little face lit up, and away we went. And but yeah, it depends on the level. Dare I say, the level of your spirit guides, the level of the communicator, and the level of your mediumship to how well um, message goes, but also the level of energy in the room.
yeah,
There's a lot of factors in it.
there is.
I don't know if you would agree with that or not,
Yeah,
but
I do. Yeah. I mean, me myself as a sitter, I am one of your worst sitters because I sit there going, I don't know who that is. I've no idea. I never met them. I don't know the name. I'm terrible to give a message to, and I'm a medium. You
yeah,
think I think outside the box with stuff, but when it comes to description of the person, I very rarely can take it until they give me a bit of evidence. That's when I go, oh yeah, I know what you mean now. Yeah, I can tell from the bits of evidence. So because
yeah, I've had that recently, where they can't take the description, but the evidence is bang on.
yeah, yeah, and I find
So
that
it
that's
depends on how
differentiation.
you're receiving it and how spirit are giving it.
Yeah,
You
and
know,
I think that's why spirit work the way they do with me because they give me messages to give out that are very similar to what would work with me if people gave those messages to me. If you
yeah,
get what I mean. Yeah, they're clever
yeah.
how
I
they do
mean,
it.
it's see, people think it's all very easy because they watch it on the telly. But it's I forgot what I was going to say now, but it just really depends. They will give you, like you say, they will tap into your memories, and it's another way of communicating. They will tap into your emotions
Yeah,
or whatever, just to find the easier way to communicate because they are communicating from another realm.
yeah,
They are communicating from a totally different vibration, even though it's vibration in varying degrees from the earth vibration to the highest spirit vibration, which we know as God. They are trying to communicate through all that.
yeah. It's a
You
lot
know,
to do.
uh, and
And it
you
depends how your
know,
medium's feeling as well. Sorry.
oh, that's right. Yeah, I mean, yeah,
When you're
you could
having
have
a
had a
bad
bad day,
day.
a bad week, a
Yeah,
bad month, and all the rest of it. You're on your chin strap.
yeah.
I'll never
That can
forget
affect
at
it.
Weymouth last year. All right, I'd been working hard and I was knackered, and I drove down to Weymouth and I nearly fell asleep at the wheel. So I had to pull over. I walked around and got some fresh air, right, and
Yeah,
got a bottle of water from the service station and that woke me up a bit. I got down there and I'm having a quick meditate before service time. And I said, please give me the energy to get through this and to be able to, like do the address and do the messages.
yeah,
Anyway, bam. As soon as I opened up, as soon as it was time to see my hands will now demonstrate his mediumship. Bam, it all come in and it rocked and rolled. But as soon as it finished, I was knackered again. You know what I mean?
yeah.
But
Back to square one.
but I have noticed at times when I'm knackered or the energy's low in the room, people have got to realise there's several factors involved. You know, whether you
Yeah.
have a great night of spirit communication or you have a rubbish night of spirit communication. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
I'm always telling people it's what you get out of spirit communication, what you put into it.
Yeah, and it's the room as well. Like Darwin's a
Yeah,
wonderful
exactly. I
place, isn't
mean,
it?
we could be all tuned and, you know,
Mm.
already, you know,
There
we could
only needs to be
be
one
selfless.
person.
And,
Sometimes there's one
sorry?
person in that. Sorry, I was say there's one. Sometimes there could be one person in the room that could throw off the energy, and you sense it. Like Darwin's a brilliant place to give readings, isn't it?
Oh, blimey, yeah. It's
Yeah,
the
that's
energy in there is off
amazing
the
energy.
scale. I love it. You could
Yeah,
be, I always tell people about Darwin, you could be a housebreaker and give an evidential message in there. You know
yeah,
what I mean? It,
perfect. Yeah.
you know, like I say, you can't bail when you're in there, so I'm hoping I don't fall flat on my face next time I'm up there, because I've just said how
No, I
wonderful it
don't
is
think
to
you ever
work.
will there. No, I think that's
Yeah,
the best
right.
service I've ever done there.
Yeah, yeah. Or, you know, it's just, you know, because the energy is so wonderful in there, you
Yeah,
know, you just, spirit
yeah,
come through, bam, bumpity, 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 bump.
yeah.
It's rock and roll, and I love it. I
There's
love
a
it.
lot
But you
of,
go up, it's like, I'm not going to say the church, but I usually give my little speech about not pulling faces or just looking at me blankly, you know, and all the rest of it. And this one guy decided he's just going to keep pulling faces at me. So I went, what does this mean? What does that mean? Tell me what that means so I can, you know, because you're just sitting there pulling faces at me, you know what I mean?
yeah,
And then again, it was until he got the one he wanted,
yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think you've got two types of
But
people though, haven't you, that go to church, to spiritual
yeah,
church. I think you've got those that are waiting to hear from that certain person that they've lost and they want to know they're okay. And then you get another group of people that just enjoy going and watching mediums, like
say
myself.
that again, please, Steph. Sorry, I was distracted.
I think anyway, I don't know if you feel the same, but I feel like when you go to the spiritual church, you've got two types of people. You've got one group of people that have come to hear from a certain person because they're missing them and they want to know how they are on the other side, if they're okay. And then you've got the other group of people that go because they just enjoy watching the mediums and supporting the church, you know.
I agree. I agree. It's like when I do a trance demo, I tell the people where I'm doing it. I only want serious spiritualists, those that are
Yeah,
really into spirit communication and how it works, and
yeah,
you know are going to respect spirit and the guides.
yeah, and be
Thank you,
more
Mario.
understanding.
Yeah,
Mm.
because we work on levels, don't we, Steph? You know, there's
Yeah,
those that come and just want to know that their loved ones are all right and want to hear from them,
yeah,
and that's lovely. I do love giving, you know, I will give evidence until a person recognises who it is, and then I'll focus on whatever that person wants to say.
you've not
Yeah,
given me a message then, have you, Stephen?
sorry,
You've never given me a message, and have you? It takes me ages to figure out who it is, if I even can.
never giving you a message. Oh, that could be changed.
I don't
Yeah,
think you've ever given me a message. I'm going to say I never know who it is, so you'd never be able to move on to evidence.
yeah, yeah. No, it's like me. I'm adopted, so you know, like your dad's in spirit. You know, which one?
Yeah,
Yeah,
good
and all
point.
the
Yeah.
I'm not a natural father. I don't know whether he's alive or dead. You know what I mean? So,
Yes, you wouldn't know much about him
you
or
know,
anybody, I
so there's for
guess.
me, because a lot of people they back bring through, for me, I
Yeah,
don't know or I can't remember.
yeah.
You
Oh,
know, so I'm the same as you, that I am very difficult to give a message to, you
yeah,
know,
yeah,
but I always accept them because I think it's rude. We're not giving JL Cunliffe, we're not giving messages today. We're just chatting about spiritual stuff today. Sorry. But either one of us will be live at some point. We both do it for hands of the angels and signals from heaven. If you want to wait for, you know, or if you got signals of heaven or hands of the angels, they will have mediums on this evening that can help you. Okay, JL Cunliffe. Sorry, but we're not doing readings right now. Sorry, I went off the track there. Sorry, remind me where we are, Steph.
Talking about when we don't know people, our loved ones in spirit, people that have passed and we can't you know, when we're getting a message off a medium and we can't understand because we didn't know them in life, or
Yeah, yeah, there are many people that we meet over a lifetime, isn't there? You know,
yeah, yeah,
it can be brief encounters, but they will come through because they've got that connection to us. As we were saying, all things are connected. Even
yeah.
if it's, even somebody you bumped into at the bus stop or whatever, you know what I mean? It's
That's
like,
true.
I always accept whoever's coming through
Yeah,
because they're making, as a medium, I know they're making a big effort to come through.
yeah,
So I say, look, I don't know them, but I will accept the message because they're making a massive effort to come through to me and they want to tell me something, whatever.
yeah.
You know, but all this, no, 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 I'm not having it. You know, I think that's rude, to be
I say
honest.
I don't. I say I don't know because I don't know. That's being
Yeah,
honest.
that's fair enough. You
Yeah,
know, unless you've got somebody directly that you know of.
yeah,
Oh no,
yeah.
if I ever have to give you a message, I'm gonna say, right, give me somebody who she knows. Right, you know
Yeah,
what I mean? You
yeah,
know, smack up between the eyes with it, you know what I mean? But yeah, that leads me on to another subject which I've forgotten. But now you're JL Cunliffe, don't be sorry. We just, you know, you didn't realise that it was just a chat session. So no worries, you're welcome to stay with us. But like I say, signals from heaven and hands of the angels. We'll have mediums on tonight. Or if you look at online spiritualist church service, they've got loads of adverts on there with spiritual services going on tonight, lives, Zooms, all the rest of it.
yeah. I think there's
Okay?
quite a few on a Sunday. There's quite a lot on
Yeah,
Sunday.
there is. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. And I don't want to go on about about the difference between Zoom and platform. So I prefer platform every time. Right, but anyway, where were we? Yeah, we were talking about spirit communication, weren't we?
yes,
Um, I just think there needs to be more education
yeah,
because this is one thing I wanted to discuss with you. All
yeah,
right, youngster, right? Oh, last bit of coffee. Um, I was doing a special at a church, and there was 5 people, no, 6, 7 people, including me.
yeah,
All right, and then Brent said, "What do you want to do then?" And I said, "Well, let's do a meditation. I'll interpret the meditations. You know, put it into a teaching mode."
yeah,
All right, because that interpretation to me is like getting a message. You know what I mean?
yeah,
And
yeah, yeah,
you can still link your in loved ones for that, but no, we want to hear from our loved ones. I just think that spiritualism, I'm going to get shot for saying this, I just think spiritualism's got into this way of fact like a stuck record. Would you agree?
yeah,
Silence from Steph, I don't believe it. Yeah.
yeah. I know what you mean. I think a lot of it's really old-fashioned, isn't it now? People are stuck in the old ways
Yeah.
and wanting to learn new things. But some of the old things have gone out of fashion, haven't they? Like seances
Well,
and
I don't
things.
know. I still get booked and I'm old school. But, what I want to say was that was just a personal comment, all right? But
Yeah,
I just think in our day, there was teaching of how it all works, not only in circle,
yeah,
but from the platform and, like in the address and stuff like that.
yeah,
And,
yeah,
you know, it's all, I was watching YouTube this morning, there's loads of stuff from spiritual teachers on there, about what happens to the soul after death, but, soul contracts, what aging people should know, how they prepare for passing. There's tons of it. It's
yeah,
out there, but I think it can come through the churches and the centres and lives, and this is why I created Copy Time, Steph, to get people on to talk. And
yeah.
oh, that's lovely, Claire. I'll get on to you in a minute, Claire. All right.
I do a Zoom a practice circle. I keep trying to get it up and running, but it's just a small circle, and because it's so small, and I've like just invited a few people to start with. But when people come to it, there's varying degrees to how much they know themselves. But some people have come on and they've never had the confidence to give a first message. And I've had quite a few who I've encouraged to give the first message, and just giving them the basic, just trusting basically, and knowing that
Yeah.
they're in a safe circle. And I don't think they realise how easy it is, because we can all do it, can't we?
Yeah, everybody's mind, body, and spirit, and we're all connected, so anybody can do it.
Yeah, yeah, and
And we you
yeah,
know, we can,
there's a
even if
lot
it's a
to
real
it.
basic level. I mean, the worst thing
Yeah.
people say to me is, "I didn't get nothing." That's rubbish. Everybody gets something, right?
Yes, you've got to be open to it.
And
What?
but working with what you got, and developing and progressing from there,
Yeah,
you know, and I think because we live in an online world now, don't we? And there's
yeah,
so many people that want to tear you down in flames. You know,
yeah,
it's much more than when I started out. You know, you used to get torn down in flames. You know, just by people around you. You know,
yeah.
uh, like with me, you're too young to know anything. You can't do it, and all the rest of you. You know, and
Yeah. There is a lot of negativity.
you know, I had all that. You know, I don't say I'm too young now, right? But you know, safe space is. I think you mentioned saying people need a safe space, whether it's a circle or an online practice group or whatever.
Yeah,
All right, but one thing that I did want to mention, and I'm trying desperately to remember it, making mistakes in circle, folks. Because when you're out in the big wide world, when you're out on that platform or you're giving readings or whatever, you cannot make a mistake.
yeah,
Because, as the great spirit guide, Spirit Silver Birch said, you have the power of life and death. And there are those people that will take what you say literally. Right?
yes,
So
yes, I
we never
agree.
see anything harmful.
Yeah,
Yeah, we never foresee a death. Or if we
yeah.
do see a full death, we say, I was taught to say, they're feeling a bit lonely, go and spend some time with them, rather than if they're going to kick the bucket in a week. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, there's
Um,
ways to say it.
because,
Yeah,
yeah, it's the way we tell them, you know, but,
yeah.
you
I
know,
feel,
it's making
I feel,
mistakes in circle, folks, because
yeah,
you can't when
you
when
learn
you're
from
out
it.
there working.
Yeah,
So
you
learn
learn through
from your
mistakes.
mistakes.
Exactly.
But
Sorry,
yeah,
I'm
if you fall
interrupting.
flat on your face in circle or practice circle online or whatever, don't beat yourself up and boot yourself down and all the rest of it, because whoever's teaching that circle should be able to say, well, this is wrong, that's wrong, blah, 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 blah. But this is how you correct it,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know, because with the understanding, the teacher's got to have the understanding they're working from their own level of understanding. And you're trying to improve that level of understanding so that they can work better. Would you agree with that?
I do. I'll tell you one thing that I don't know if this is actually related to this, but do you know when people say that they know something, because that's the thing that they tell you to do, don't they, with spirit churches, because of the you've got to trust spirit. But I've found that some mediums are saying, I know this, I know that, and they're too strict on it, and it turns out that they've interpreted it wrong. So I know myself,
Yeah,
when I give messages, I'll put my hand up and go, oh, I must have heard that wrong then. They just said such a thing and I thought it meant this. You know, I said I only hear odd words. And then the person can take it, but another way, if they understand why it's coming through. So that give what you get idea, that's what I do for that reason, because it's so easy to interpret it wrong. And I don't want to be getting it wrong, but
I
people
agree.
I've witnessed one of my friends get a message, and all the way through it, that this medium kept saying, I know this, I know that. And she's going, no, I didn't. No, I never met him. No, that never happened. No, that everything was when I talked to her after, everything was the opposite. And if she'd have just said, well, could you understand why they're giving me this? You'd give it exactly. She'd have gone, oh, yeah, I know what that means. And she'd have understood every bit, because she insisted she'd
Yeah,
heard it all.
exactly.
Mm,
Exactly. In fact, there was a post on Facebook, I forget who posted it this week, sort of saying mediums shouldn't stay there, ramming it down people's throat that they know this and they know that. I'm right, you're wrong. That's
yeah.
totally the wrong way of working, Steph. I
Yeah.
mean, I'm sure we both agree with that.
Yeah, it's not
Um,
trusting spirit. That's being arrogant, really, isn't it?
yeah, um, spirit should give it to you in a way that you understand, um, you know, to a degree. So you understand it enough to give it off.
Yeah, we're
you
human,
know.
we can make mistakes, and that's
But
the kind of
we
mistakes.
should always say, and it's my little disclaimer, I don't know if I've got this wrong,
Mm,
because I don't know if I understand it enough, but this is what I'm getting.
yeah,
All right. And then, they'll say, I know why you're getting that,
yeah,
and then we move on. Or I'll just go back and say, please clarify. And they clarify, and because I'm tuning into what they're giving me more whilst all that's going on. I'm
yeah.
understanding it more, and then I'll give it off, and then we get to it. You've got to put the work in, don't you, Steph?
Yeah,
You
definitely.
know?
They don't make it easy for us, do they? So a lot of time, I get a lot of the symbolic things, and that's hard
Yeah,
because you try to
yeah.
work out
You're a
what they
mental
mean.
medium like me. You are.
Yeah,
I get symbols all the time, and I
yeah,
interpret them. Same as you. But sometimes it's a bit of a clash when you know, di- discerning whether it's a symbol or an actual bit of evidence.
yeah,
You know what I mean? But it's there. I mean, I over my 47 years of spiritualism, I've seen certain people stand on a platform like they're the God's gift.
yeah,
You know,
yeah,
and look at me, I'm a platform medium. I've reached that level. I'm a platform medium, and they're ramming it down people's throat, and everybody's sitting there going, "No, no," right? You know what I mean?
yeah.
And it's wrong.
It is. I've seen some who are mediums are supposed to be really brilliant, and I've watched them. I thought they're rubbish. I can do better than that. And then I've seen others that are really new to it, and they're amazing. They're all so different levels, and
Yeah,
again, that's
I've
the
seen
ego.
every
And
so often I'll pop into a live or a Zoom,
yeah,
because I do enough of this. So when I've got time off, I just do Stevie stuff, But
yeah,
every so often I'll sit there thinking it'd be nice to go to a service. So I'll just look one up and I'll just go along and listen. And
yeah,
I've seen some amazing mediumship that knocks off the spots off mine.
yeah.
But I hate to say that, but yeah. but
Our opinions of
but
our own
there
mediums
again,
are
I think
different.
then I look again and I think, yeah, great messages, wow messages and all that, but you've got no knowledge.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, yeah,
So I'll tell you something I wanted to
mm,
mention. The last understanding mediumship workshop I did, which was at Southampton.
yeah,
Yeah, we went through the day, and I put them through the exercises and everything like that, and they enjoyed it and everything like that. And I just looked and because there's one student that kept saying, and when we were sitting here, we were giving messages for this, we were giving messages for that, and everything was exactly good. I said, "What's the one thing about this workshop?" And they all looked at me, and I said, "Nobody's given a message.
uh,
It's about you link and how you open up the spirit,
yeah,
and how you understand." And at the end of it, the last exercise is giving an inspired address, not giving a message. You know what I mean? So,
yeah,
there's a lot of work to be done before you give the message. That's what I'm saying, Steph.
yeah. I need work on the philosophy and addresses. That's not my thing. Even though I can talk for England, I just don't have the
Yeah, you'd be
confidence
great
yet.
at addresses. Good, like I say, you've got the gift of the gab, haven't you? But you know, but just link in with your guides, bam, it'll come.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
but yeah, because me and many other mediums, you know, um, there are people not only who want to come and hear from their loved ones, and like you say, or just want to enjoy the service, whatever. There are those that come to listen to the address because that's the message for everybody. You know
yes,
what I mean?
yeah. I notice a lot of
So
the times I've watched them, they usually mean something to me. It is good.
yeah, people have come up to me and said, I didn't get a message, but that address really resonated. So they've got something from it.
Yeah, and it's healing. It's all healing. Just being there watching the medium,
Yeah,
even if you don't get a message, I find it very healing. I always sleep really well after I've been to a service. I don't sleep well normally.
yeah,
So
because the
just being in that
energy's in the
energy.
place. You know what I mean? Um, but what was I going to say? Is that the address should be seen as a message from spirit as well.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know, but what you get is, especially when I go to a new church, they say to me, "Can you give an address?" Yeah. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
there's a lot of the new ones coming through. They haven't worked on that. All they focused on is giving messages.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
so this gets back to my point of you've got to have that knowledge and that philosophy, and that should be taught in circle. You know, and
Yeah.
Claire McCoubrey, I've got round to you, Claire. She used to be one of my students, but before it became a circle, it was a little meditation group. I used to give them a meditation and do it. I'd
Yeah.
interpret it, all right, for them. But she said she learned so much about herself when we did our meditation group because spiritual development's about self development, not
Yeah.
just picking up messages and giving them off. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I do. Yeah. Yeah.
Because if you can raise your vibration through self-discovery and sort of getting rid of all the negative bits and turning them into positive, then you're vibrating on a higher level, which
Yeah.
means then you can work more with spirit and you can reach out to higher levels of spirit.
And it's
You know
about
what I mean? I
experience.
think all this
Yeah.
has been left to one side. This is what I'm trying to say, Steph.
Yeah. Well, it's about
You know,
experiences as
get your
well.
channel right and it's all rock and roll, you know.
Yeah, well, you're saying about yourself, you're learning, your experiences will be similar to other people's experiences. And I don't know about you, but do you find that when you do reading, sometimes that person has got similar experiences to yourself, and it's like you draw more to those people that have been through things that you've been through, or similar life experiences, similar.
Well, this is something I was taught years and years ago. It's I wish I kept saying that because every time I say that, I feel like a really old man. But anyway, what I was taught in circle, right, um, was basically spirit will use, like you said about memories, they will use your experiences to help another person
Yeah,
because
yeah,
they're coming along with something they're going through now that you might have gone through 15, 20 years ago.
yeah,
All right. So you can use, because spirit will save energy. Right.
yeah.
So
I do like
if you
that.
can give a little bit of homegrown advice, yeah, I've been through that. I understand that. And this is how spirit guided me to get through it. And this is what I found. And this is how you've got to approach this one situation. You know, because as I said before, spirit will find any way they can to get the message across. And if
Yeah,
they have to use your own experiences or draw people to you, this comes again from universal mind and
yeah,
connect and draw people to you that are going through stuff that you've been through so you can help them. You know, spirit tell you what the problem is, and then you can say, well, this, that, and the other, this is how I got through it. And then spirit can put their two pen in and say, well, you know, this is what we feel you should do. Because obviously the
yeah.
way I'll approach things will be different to the way they'll approach things. You know what I mean? But if you can give them a few pointers, brilliant. You
Do you,
know,
Do you also find with that you get like over a week or a few weeks, you might get similar people come to you with similar experiences? Because I also feel
yeah.
that spirit will save their energy that way by giving that same message off again to each person. And you think, oh, I've already come out with those things, and why are they giving me the same again? And I feel like it's that saving. It's like sometimes just with a name, I'll be in the church and I'll think, oh, I've heard that name again. And I feel like I'm selling myself off because I've heard it's like I'm repeating it, but they'll be able to understand that name, each person, and or a similar experience. This has gone on in your
Yeah,
life,
that's
and
one
then the
reason
next
I
person.
don't give names out a lot. Yeah,
Yeah,
but it was all before I start. I usually, when I'm sitting down at church or centre to open up, there's usually one person called George who shouts their name out, George. But I know they're with me. I know that after years, I've realised they're part of my spirit team.
yeah,
And
yeah,
it's like a sound check whether they're getting through or not. You know what I mean? And yeah, this bloke said to me like the other night, "Have you got any names?" I said, "Well, I could give you 10 names, and you can understand none of them."
yeah,
But I have a little arrangement with the spirit. Don't just shout your name out. Show me yourself, so I can describe you.
yeah,
Okay, and that's how it works for me, anyway, Steph. You know,
yeah,
because too often over the years I've seen people just giving names out, and that everybody can say yes. And in circle, I was taught never give names out because everybody can take a
really.
name.
See, that's
You know,
strange because it's hit and miss for me. Sometimes I'll ream off some names. I'll go, "That's my mum, that's my dad, that's my sister," and they're really relevant, close by. And then other times I'll give off, like say, like 10 names, and they'll be I don't know, whatever. And I think, why are they giving me all that? And I figured something out one day. It was to do with dementia. And it was about forgetting
Yes,
people's names
that's an
and things.
interesting subject. Yeah,
Yeah, it was a symbolic thing about forgetting people's names and what have you. And it made sense. It's happened a few times now. You know, you get certain messages you get and you take from it and you remember it. And the next time you get a message like that, you know what it means next time. It's that kind of thing with me. But
yeah,
also,
exactly. Yeah,
yeah,
like they'll give me the same symbols that I know what it means. All
yeah,
right, but this gets back to what we were saying earlier about spirit communicating what they were or not on what they were in life. You know, just purely for recognition, nothing more. And we
yeah,
call it evidence. Okay,
yeah,
but it's just for recognition purposes. But there are varying states of the human condition, aren't there? There are many, many different states of the human condition, and dementia is one of them.
yeah, yeah,
And you know, so when you bring somebody through with dementia, yeah, they just give me an energy to let me know that they had dementia.
yeah,
So they got very forgetful, blah, 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 and all the rest of it. It all depends on the way spirit communicate to us.
yeah. We're all
You
different.
know, and we as mediums, we got to be prepared to be open to the varying different states. Spirit loved ones will come to us,
Yeah,
whether it's dementia or mental illness, suicides. You know, because I've just found that they come through in their own unique way. You know, whatever it
mm,
is, whatever the problem, whether it's suicide, um, stillbirth, miscarriage, all that, dementia, and all the other human conditions that you have, they will vibrationally they will come in through in the same way. I'll just discern which vibration they're coming through on.
yeah,
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 and so that I know what it is, whether it's dementia or miscarriage or suicide or whatever, or depression. You know, all the different varying human conditions that you can have. But like I say, it's just purely for recognition. But vibrationally, they will come through in that state, just to let the person know receiving the message,
yeah. And
and
it's
we
all
call it
learning.
evidence.
It's all learning for us, isn't it?
Exactly. Yeah.
We all
I
learn
mean,
different ways.
I might have said this to you or not, Steph. I don't remember because I can very, very rarely get a word in with you, can I? But
Okay.
yeah, yeah. But like I say, I've been demonstrating 42 years, and I'm still learning how to do it.
Yeah,
You know, and
different
you
spirit.
know, because as you said, spirit will bring in new things and new
Yeah,
ways of working, and they're trying it out with you. You know, and if it
yeah,
works, great, they'll keep on with it. You know, but and we should embrace it. We shouldn't run away from it. You know.
mm, yeah,
Oh, Tom's watching. Hello, Tom. Hello, Tony Allen. But you know, there's a hell of a lot that goes into mediumship. When a person standing there on the platform giving an address or giving messages, people have got to realise the work that goes into it. I think, and all the factors involved.
oh
And then
yeah,
maybe people wouldn't be so critical. That's just my own personal point of view, Steph.
yeah. I have to rest. I've got a lot of health problems. I've got ME and things. So if I know
Yeah,
that I'm doing a service or a live or a reading, I've got to really put a lot of rest in, rest my mind and body before I'm prepared to do it. So it takes a lot of my time and energy to just prepare to do it, you
yeah,
know.
exactly. Yeah,
And
and
people
I
don't
admire
realise
people
that.
like you with health conditions such as ME.
Yeah,
Get up there and do it,
yeah,
and you prepared beforehand. You know,
yeah. It seems
whereas me,
quite common with mediums, doesn't it? A lot of mediums have got a lot of health issues. I've noticed. I don't know about yourself, but I've
well, I've got
noticed.
diabetes, right? Two, which is diet
Mm,
controlled. So I've got like the least form of it, and I've been in remission for the past since 2016. I've been in remission, so
that's good.
9 years I've been in remission.
Good.
Um, but what I want to say is, it's my age. I haven't got the stamina and the energy that I used to have,
Yeah.
and I'll get knackered. It's like today. I'm doing Maidstone tonight, which is a 2 hour drive, so I've taken today off,
Yeah. Yeah.
so I can have me rest and relaxation. So I can just have a leisurely breakfast. Come on and chat to you,
Yeah.
wash my bed sheets and all that. Just do it at a slow pace and have the time to meditate. And have lunch and all that. And and then do the 2 hour drive, do the service, and the 2 hour drive back. But
Yeah.
something I said to somebody the other day, I was serving a church in Wales, and it's 2.5 hour drive there, and it's an hour service and a 2.5 hour drive back. But when you got all the road closures and everything like that, it turned into a 3-4 hour drive.
Wow.
And I said to the lady that come with me, I said, "Is it really worth it? You know,
Yeah.
all this travelling and all this effort,
Mm.
and for an hour service, we got back 11:30 at night, and I've got work in the morning. I've got to be up for work at 6 in the morning. Now,
Yeah.
once upon a time, when I was 30, I could have done that standing on. You know what I mean? But I'm 65 now, and I get
Mm.
knackered, so
Yeah.
I spend more time preparing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
mine's mostly just age, but yeah, there's a lot of mediums like yourself who suffer health conditions,
Yeah.
and full respect to them for getting up there and doing it. You know,
Uh,
making the effort because they have to put in
yeah.
more preparation than I do. You know.
Well, I've got a bad memory, so I write my prayer out and I read my prayer out, and people frown at me at that, but it's like I don't want to trust myself and mess it up, so I write it down just so at least I've got that out the way. Um, and then I've got bad knees. I've had both my knees replaced last year, so I'm not confident to stand up for a full hour. I couldn't, so I've got to sit down at a service. So I think people frown on me for that. Do you know? Because they make a big thing about you got to stand up, but it still works. You can sit down and read, but some people think you
I
have to
agree.
stand up,
Yeah.
don't they?
Funny enough, there's another medium. I watched a little bit of it. Um, Going on about the snobbery and mediumship. He's a young medium. He's only been going out a couple of years.
Yeah,
And he's got a good name for himself and all that. I've never seen him work, but I agree with what he was saying about the snobbery. I encountered that years ago, and I still encounter it today to a certain degree. But people know what they're getting with me now. But like all this sitting down, you've got to be dressed a certain way. You've got to stand up,
mm,
not sit down. Or let's save your knees. Let's get you
yeah,
feeling comfortable. You've got to feel comfortable when you're doing it
yeah,
and all the rest of it. You know
yeah,
what I mean? And
yeah.
as,
It,
as
oh,
as long as you're not sort of like doing a dance of the seven veils with a daffodil sticking out your bum, you know, working whichever way you want to. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah. I think if I was
As long
to
as that
tell,
message is coming through, it's all coming through. We're
yeah,
sitting down or standing up. It doesn't matter, or
yeah,
you know, or whatever. I mean, when I first started out, the dress code was very strict. It was a suit for men and like a dress or a trouser suit for ladies. You
yeah,
know what I mean? But now you can come out as anything you like, which I like because, like down in Wales, I couldn't be bothered to sort of like do my smart casual thing. So I just wore my companies. I go down there. So they don't mind.
yeah,
You can turn up as anything you like down there, but other churches, you know, you've got to be at least smart casual, you know.
yeah,
I want to get to Christine Nielsen. I just sort of quickly read some of her last comment about a psychic attack. This is why spiritual protection is so very, very important, not just before you do a service, but keep it there at all times. I do mine in the night before I go to sleep and before I wake up and before I have my cornflakes, you know what I mean? So, because this gets back to the thing, we sort of like ego and everything like that, won't we, Steph?
yeah,
There are people that won't like you for some reason. And we've got to realise whether we're aware of it or not, whether we're aware of it ourselves or not. If we're thinking negatively about somebody, that will affect them in some way or another because of this connection.
mm,
But we're all connected. So please, we should have all this sort of psychic protection, because the word is psychic attack, and it is very psychic. So just keep your protection up, Christine. And what else is she saying? I've noticed a lot of people having problems, also autoimmune issues or rare disorders.
yeah. I found that I've spoke to
I
quite a
think
few
there's a
people.
reason for that, don't you, Steph?
Yeah, yeah. It makes us more connected. I think trauma can bring it on for us. I think a lot of mediums start the medium journey from a trauma or from a health condition. I think it happens a lot anyway. I don't want to say it's everybody, but
Yeah, when I was a support worker, we done this beautiful course, and I can't remember what, because I was supporting homeless people. So you got drugs and alcohol involved in that, and mental health involved in that. But
yeah,
I forget the full title, but it was a trauma course. Basically, it's people that are so traumatised that they can't talk about it.
yeah,
And it was ways of getting them to talk about it. And it was saying it may work or it may not. We're still learning, sort of thing. But it was, again, how to create a safe space, and, you know, also there's a word for it, I can't think of it, but getting that person to feel comfortable in talking to you about whatever their trauma was, whatever it will be, you
yeah,
know. But I think spirit will use people that suffer trauma, health conditions, or whatever, because maybe in one way or another we're operating on a higher level because
yeah,
we're learning from the condition. You know what I mean?
yeah,
I mean, just yourself, Steph. You know, you could sit at home feeling sorry for yourself, couldn't you?
yeah,
You know, with your Buble CDs going and a glass of wine, and a bowl of crisps or whatever. But no, you prepare and you get off your jacksie and
yeah,
you go out and you serve.
yeah,
You know,
yeah. And I've always
and
got
I
a
think
smile on my
that
face.
sends a great message. I really, really do. You know, but I'm wondering what sort. I think my trauma was coming back into this life.
Yeah,
Because I know I didn't want to. But anyway, yeah. But anyway, let's get inside of it. Steph, it's 12:10.
all right.
The washing machine is screaming at me to unload it. All right. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to, as I always finish off, I always finish off with reading a poem, and it's actually come from a spirit guide. When I was doing an FB Live trance, um, the good thing about that is you go back through the tape, can't you?
Yeah,
And you can. And there's one thing this guide said. I I I made a post out of it. Okay, but there's one thing I'd like to announce. Okay, the lovely Veronica Jenkins of Universal Mind. Everybody's heard of Veronica Jenkins, haven't they?
yeah,
But
yeah.
she's offered to put copy time on StreamYard.
Oh, lovely.
Okay, so I'm working with her at the moment. So the next one will be on StreamYard.
Yeah.
She did offer it for today, all right, which would have been better. I would have been there to see you. Right, you'd have been there to see
Yeah,
me.
that works.
But I'm going to do a try. I'm going to say to her in a minute, once I've unloaded the washing machine and that, is I'm going to message her and say, can we do a transfer StreamYard?
Yeah,
Because it's just the safety aspect of it. Because when I've done trances on Zoom twice, people have made I've come back to earth with a thud and I've had to take a week off work. So with Facebook Lives and StreamYards, people can only comment.
yeah,
But as from next week, copy times and any trances that I do will be done on StreamYard. I couldn't do, I advertised the trance for the 29th, Friday, but I couldn't find anybody to sit and ask the questions, what people put up,
yeah,
about their karma or about their spiritual development or whatever like that. And so I didn't do it. But what I was thinking of, I could do it on Facebook Live and
yeah,
get somebody like yourself, Steph, to
yeah,
just who could see the comments and ask my spirit team the questions. I don't know how that would work, but it certainly work on StreamYard because it's a lot better than Facebook Live. All right. But
yeah.
Steph, once again, it's been great to have you on. All
Thank
right. I
you.
always enjoy listening to you. I mean, talking to you. And, you know, definitely invite you back again. And I'll just read this poem out.
Okay.
And anyway, it's called The Beauty of Life. And this comes from my spirit guide, Alfred, who communicated through me one night in trance. Do not be weighed down by the burdens of earth life. Many become sick in mind, body, and spirit due to the expectations placed upon themselves and by others who they share the earth plane with. Breathe, look around you, see and sense the beauty of life. The power and beauty of eternal life is within and all around you. The genesis of eternal life flows through you all. Each and every one of you, there is nothing you cannot overcome. If you can embrace the beauty and truth of eternal life within mind, body and spirit, do not fear the illusion of mortality. Death does not separate your consciousness from eternal life. No wall divides the earth plane and the realms of spirit. And that's from Spirit Guide Alfred, folks. I hope you all got something from that. Anyway, I've got to go and unload my washing machine. Thank you, Steph. You've been brilliant as always. All
And that was
right.
useful. Thank you for having me on again.
No, you're welcome. And I'll see you up when I come up to Darwin in February next year. All right?
Yeah, I will do. See you then.
Yeah. Right, take care now. Thank
You
you,
too.
everybody, for
Thank you.
joining us. God bless you all. Bye-bye now.
Bye bye.